Hello, my dear Virgo. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of August 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. You can also see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel if you scroll down a little bit. The reading can go both ways, so if I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reversed, that the person you are dealing with is feeling and acting in that way. The energy is the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. And for this reading, I will use the Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gom, illustrated by Will Worthington. And I will start shuffling your cards. So, my dear Virgo, when I open your deck here, I see 8 of Cups and 2 of Cups. So it seems like you have deep thoughts and disruptive feelings about a certain relationship or love overall. 8 of Cups is when we need to seek some solitude or think about the patterns in our relationship, how they are repeating in a way that we wish they wouldn't. So it's like some kind of exhausting energy going around like this over and over and over again in your love relationship, and it seems that there's no end to this. So we can see this person searching solitude away from these relationships so they can find out what they really want. Sometimes we need to do this, to take a trip or go away for a few days to be for ourselves if we are to make a choice. Maybe it's a choice between lovers. It might also be a choice to let someone go. It can be like deliberately giving a person and yourself freedom, because whatever if it's truly yours and you give it away, not rudely of course, if you always tell your partner like, oh, I don't need you, go, so they are not going to trust you anymore. But if a person wants to go away and you say, okay, go, and then they come back to you again, maybe with new energy, you know that this relationship is maybe worth investing in. So I call the divine with love and light, and see, we have a Queen of Pentacles, so that's Virgo, and the 2 of Cups. So Queen of Pentacles, why it comes here, I'm thinking it's about self-love, that we need to love ourselves first. So we need to maybe find ourselves first. 8 of Cups, going away like a hermit, might also be to find out, who am I? What do I want? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? Is this really what's going to make me happy? Is it not what's going to make me happy? So it's this deep spiritual questions. Why am I here? Where is my life going? What am I supposed to do with my time? Is this how I want to spend my time? So it's not really so much about the situation, it's more about you, Virgo. Because if things isn't working out in your different situation, it doesn't have to be a relationship, it can be something that you love to do as well. If it doesn't work out, maybe you need to take a pause, a break, to see why this isn't working out, and how you can regroup yourself and aim your energy into a situation that will actually, or in a direction that will actually help and make things move forward instead of going in circles or in 8s. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we see a Queen of Wands with the 2 of Cups. So some of you might be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo person, but it might be 2 different sides to you as well, earth and fire. So earth is about stability, knowing what you have, maybe being reluctant to move forward into something new, but in the same time being very stubborn, and also taking really good care of yourself and your body. While the Queen of Wands is not afraid to move forward and try new things. She has this amazing self-esteem. So it might be talking about your self-esteem, that you need to trust yourself more, that you have the equipment and the personality and everything that's needed for you to make a happy life for yourself. and that you are enough and will be enough. I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Virgo viewers. So I want my dear Virgos to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so my dear Virgo, see what's going on here with you. I will just tune into your energy and the time, August, for a few seconds here. So this is your future. It might be September or the second half of August, and this is August, maybe the first half, and this is the past. So it might be an extended past or just June, July. And here we have a Prince of Pentacles. So here again is this energy that I sensed with the Queen of Pentacles, that we know what we have, but we don't know what we are going to get. So we are careful when we are doing investment or changing our routine. The Prince of Pentacles is a little bit shy. He wants to, he's like a little bit afraid to make mistakes, but if he's sure about what he wants and what the divine is requiring from him and what kind of direction he is supposed to go in, he can work really hard and be really open and really vulnerable. But if there comes in uncertainties, he's starting to shy away and maybe act in a way that's like a little bit slow, like a person that doesn't want to invest seems to not care about you. It's like this: if the person, no, I don't want to, no, maybe we can't go on vacation, no, I don't want to meet you the next weekend, you feel that they are uninterested. But it doesn't have to be like this. It can be a person just being very careful with moving forward and not wanting to take the next step because they don't know what the next step will bring. Will that take them out on a like a swamp and they will drown maybe? So it can be a person that's very secure where they are. They have put themselves like in a secure place where it's high and dry, but if they go from this place, they might become very uncomfortable, like out of their comfort zone. Some of you might be dealing with the Taurus. I also saw the High Priest 5, Major Arcana card number 5. It's also Taurus, flickering when I was doing the the shuffling. And here we have a 6 of Cups. So even if this person is unbelievably slow, they seem to still love you a great deal, and you might have like a real, it's like a soulmate relationship or a relationship that's there for your spiritual growth and also for healing karma and past life situations and childhood situation and different traumas. So I'm feeling that there's a person that's not adding themselves fully into this situation. They are not putting their whole self online, and therefore might come out as they don't care, but actually they do. It's just that they don't know what to expect from this situation, and they feel that there's very high stakes, and therefore they are scared to invest. But both Judgment here and 6 of Cups is about things like rising from the dead. And the Star card, it's 2 people meant to be together, and yeah, the Lovers is obvious here. And here we have the vulnerability that the Prince of Pentacles is so darn afraid to hurt. So they have a very yummy inside that they might not be so resilient, like not be so able to tolerate life's different changes. They might be more empathic and fragile than you first may believe, like when you see them, because they're acting shielded. So you can believe that they are like unreachable or very cool, but it doesn't seem like that. They are actually very skittish. Okay, and here you have the future, and it's a 4 of Cups. So when you're dealing with a person like this, it's hopeless because it's very hard to move forward. And with the Queen of Coins and the Queen of Wands, they are more like grown-up women. They want things for real, not not being with a little shy person. So it seems like your masculine side or the masculine part of a situation is acting with like they are procrastinating things. They have a hard time digesting their feelings. They don't know what they want, and this might cause a lot of restraint on a relationship or any kind of situation. If you have a partner with a project that's never like finished with their project, they are second guessing their work, doing it over and over and over again, it might drive a more quicker person to insanity. But here we can see they're never happy with anything. They are always like second guessing and thinking maybe they could have been more perfect, they could have done this better, and maybe they can try this, but they don't want to because maybe it will have the bad consequences, and they want to try this, but that might not be the best way to go either. So then it's not going anywhere, and it's still this with emotion. So it's like a person being stuck in their own fear, not their actual fear, because they don't go as far as meeting their fear. They are standing, they are stuck, they are blocked by their perception of fear. They are not even feeling the fear. They are just being scared of the feeling fearful. So it's like extra careful is what I'm feeling. And this is stupid because one person in this equation then needs to be extra courageous, put themselves out there, being the driving force, like exploiting themselves or showing their own vulnerability to make this person sure. So it's like one person is taking all the burden on their shoulders and the other one is being a drag. Okay, someone that you need to like actually drag after you like this. So with the Eight of Cups, it's no question about a person has been drained because they are dealing with such a person that's so slow. So it's hard when you need to use all your energy to persuade someone that they are good enough, they are lovable, the situation isn't dangerous, it's safe to move forward. Okay, so I'm feeling stressed already just by talking about this. Okay, so here is your past. And we have this Queen of Wands. So someone in this equation is not scared. They are not scared about being scared, and they are not scared about new things. They are not scared about problems. We can see this. She has the fire burning here, and she can still turn her back against that because she's so sure about herself. So this is another side to you, or it might be one person in this equation. Doesn't have to be a fire sign. It's just showing like a personality skill, but it can also be a fire sign. But mostly this is what we need to find in ourselves. We can't be the child all the time, or the very scared rabbit or turtle or hermit crab. We need to evolve as humans. We need to stretch beyond what we think is possible. So if we are scared about something, we need to be like the Queen of Wands and kind of face it. So if you would be scared about the fire, she would face it and go closer to it and, you know, learn how to control it and get a lot of experience with this. But this person doesn't even want to get the experience. Yeah, I think even the horse is losing patience here with waiting and not being able to move. Okay, so next card here is the Princess of Wands. So Princess of Wands is a very energetic fire energy because it's a child, and it's enthusiasm and longing. It's positive thinking, wishful thinking, dreaming, seeing visions about the future, having a vision and wanting to create it on earth. So Queen of Wands together with the Princess of Wands, it's kind of spiking up this energy a little bit, making it much more positive and much more like it wants to create something. It's some future that it wants to see, and it's a little bit in anticipation for this future. So I'm feeling a build up here between these two energies. One that is like a donkey and like doing this all the way, and the other one already living in the future almost. And an Ace of Wands as well. So I'm thinking this energy here with the Queen of Wands and Princess of Wands is unstoppable. It's not going to wait, okay? This other more slow energy will be left just in the dust of something. So it feels like there can be a separation ahead between partners in a project, or between you and your family's approach about something, or you and your partner. Maybe one partner doesn't want to move, the other one wants to move. One wants to take the next step in the relationship, the other one doesn't want to. One wants to expand the project, the other one doesn't want to. One wants to invest more money or energy, and the other one doesn't want to. So with the Queen of Wands, Princess of Wands, and Ace of Wands, there's a spiritual energy coming down here, and it's not going to wait. Okay, so it will be like a separation between oil and water in this case. It might be that one side of you has been procrastinating, but there's another side of you taking over now, and just not care anymore about the fear that once held you in your comfort zone. You're going outside it now, and it can even be rage at this point with this much fire. So it's a person kind of, screw you, I'm doing this alone. And it's about also making this leap. So it's like when spring wants to burst forward. First it's like growing pains, and then phew, spring is just in explosion, and it's green everywhere. So but first it might be some tension and some anxiety. So it might be also that there's one person that's very slow, the other one is very inventful. So they might use a lot of energy to drag this person with them, because we have this reconciliation card. So there's no stopping you now, okay? So underneath the Queen of Wands, we have a Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, fire and air together. It's a very feisty combination. These two are also the most masculine of the queens. So real warrior queens, like the kind of queens that you can't really make them change their mind if they have decided upon something, because these are the bitches, okay? We can see that the Queen of Wands is a little bit more open, while the Queen of Swords is even more deciding upon what she has already seen for her inner vision. She's not going to change her mind about this. So she's also a little bit more hermit. She doesn't even have like a spiritual animal. She just like a tree there. So she's a little bit like a hermit, but not in the scared kind of way. It's more a judgmental kind of way, like a person thinking that other people is a problem, and everything they do is a problem, and everything they say might be a problem. So they're looking at people and deciding they don't want to look anymore. They are closing their eyes. It's some very energy that's going in so many different directions. One is very slow, the other one is very feisty and going to move forward across whatever. It will move kingdoms. And the other energy here, Queen of Swords, is very judgmental. So we'll see where it goes. So it might be someone that wants to reconcile, and the other one is going to be like, no, I don't want to. Yes, Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. And I'm actually feeling that it's the Queen of Swords feeling left out in the cold in this situation. It is not unlikely that this is the same person in all these energies, because this is very stubborn energy because it's shy, and this is stubborn because it thinks it knows everything already. It has seen and heard everything, and what it has seen and heard is not good things, okay? It's consequences. I will be left out in the cold. People will steal all my stuff. They don't respect me. They don't open their heart to me. I don't have enough money, and it's other people that's to blame for this. So it's some energy here that's trying to be very high and dry, but actually might feel very heartbroken. We can also see that the other side of the equation is feeling the same here. It's almost the same girl. It's just green there, unconditional love. Here's blue, like having the blues, or like flickering between hope and sadness, because this blue is also standing for hope. When the person is your blue, it's usually your hope, but they can also make you blue. So the Five of Pentacles is a card where we want to be in a situation, but we are not allowed to. We want to be loved by a person, but they don't love us enough. Or we want to have better income, but no one wants to pay us. It's like helplessness. And the Princess of Wands will probably not endure that kind of situation for so long. She will create something of her own. But the Queen of Swords can become like this, that she withdraw until she's no longer in the picture, because she don't want to feel like this. So she's not putting herself in situations that will make her feel like this. Okay, so we'll move on. Next card here is the Ten of Cups. So it's a big jump between these energies here. I'm betting this energy comes from the fire energy, because it's not coming from this very shy energy that's not going to bet anything. But, well, it might also come straight from the divine, like miracles, because this is very miraculous cards that you have here. Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, the Lord. Okay, so I'm thinking the divine wants some kind of reconciliation or some kind of fusion with these energies, but this energy doesn't feel appreciated, and this energy doesn't feel appreciated. But anyway, we have the Ten of Cups as a outcome, so that's very interesting. And the Six of Cups is reconciliation. So it might be that the high and mighty Queen of Swords and procrastinating Prince of Pentacles, when actually being left out in the cold and in the dust of the fire energy here, they will actually know what it is that what they feel. When the in this case, it's kind of not a cow that have left the barn empty and you are missing it when the cow is gone. It's more like an aeroplane, or, you know, fire, some kind of fireball that's gone from your stable. And it's good, maybe it didn't burn it all to the ground. And that was what this entity was fearful of. Maybe they were too much, overwhelming. They were scared that there would be some kind of consequences. So I want to take a Romance Angels Oracle card there. Okay, you deserve love, and the Ten of Cups. So what needs to happen for this very slow and second-guessing, very judgmental kind of energy is to learn that they are worthy of love, and that life is not out to get them, but that they actually deserves love. So start to relax a little bit, not feel like there's a predator around every corner. So I'm thinking both trust and courage needs to come into this situation. Trust and courage is what this energy has. So maybe there can be some kind of fusion. I don't know how this is going to happen, but sometimes when there's two very different energies, we are learning from each other. So maybe one is learning to become more brave and, you know, move forward no matter what, because the love is so great. Okay, the connection is so big, so you can't procrastinate anymore. You need to take yourself out, even if you risk losing your face, losing your security, telling someone that you love them and then feeling like this is the risk. But when we meet someone that's not at all like us, we might learn new things. And maybe the fire energy is to learn to also think things through and be a little bit more judgmental about situation, and not just jump into any situation and feel like, well, I can solve any problem here. Whatever you throw at me, I will solve it. Maybe they need to think a little bit before they act, and you know, have a little bit higher demands on the resources being brought to them, and not thinking, okay, so I have 5 pennies here, I think I can start a company. Maybe they need to think, okay, when I have 5,000 pennies, then I can start this company. But, well, okay. we'll see where it goes. It seems impossible. And here we have an Eight of Swords. So Eight of Swords is when we think that things are impossible. And if the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords is not teaming up, they will feel that their different energies is making the relationship impossible. How to move on from here? It's another 8, so it's still like indicating that strength. Number 8, the strength card. Strength, courage, being the bigger person, being brave, opening up, showing vulnerability, showing your big heart is what's needed in this situation to solve this situation. But from these people's point of view, it seems like there's no solution. There's this problem and that problem and this problem. For a Queen of Wands being put in this situation, as long as they don't need to like have an authority above them that says you can't do this, they will be able to fix all these problems eventually. They will take one at a time until they are gone. But when we put the Queen of Swords in the mix, she will see one consequence or 10,000 different consequences for every different problem being solved here. So if someone asks her a question, can't you fix this by doing it like this? No, you can't, because then this and this going to happen. But can't you do it by approaching it from this angle? No, it won't be solved by that, because this and this and this will be the problem. So they're seeing more the problems and not the solutions. Queen of Wands usually see the solutions and never the problems. So it's two very, very, very different energies here inside of you that might have a big problem with how to work together with this without scaring one into even deeper into the cave, and or making the other so exhausted by carrying all this load alone. So we'll see if there comes any solution cards. We have a Queen of Cups, so now we have had Queen of Coins, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. So I'm thinking this is the feminine energy of it all. Feminine energy doesn't work in the same way as masculine energy. Masculine energy wants a plan and answers already when it's in the initial phases of a project. But the feminine is more like, well, we can fix this. We have our we are healthy, we have our bodies, and we have these ideas, so we can do whatever we want with this. So it's the difference between being a seed and having a seed. If you have a seed, you want to nurture it and take the best care of it as possible. Find fertile ground for it, the right kind of circumstances, the right partners, everything. And then you will take your precious seed and put it to the ground and then give it all its attention. But if you are the seed, the only thing you want is to be alive. This is life force here. And the Queen of Cups, on the other hand, this is the feminine energy, but it's more like the nurturing water aspect of this. It's not the life force itself. It's more the nurturing that life can get, and also the direction that life wants to take. So it's like feeling your way forward, finding out by stepping into the darkness with your intuition and like into the unknown, and then feeling, oh, this is the direction, or this is the direction. So it's still very female, very like flaky energy, a little bit like this energy that kind of doesn't have a plan. It just wants to grow towards the light. Which way it grows, it doesn't matter, just it will reach the light eventually. And here we have a Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is Virgo energy. It's much the same energy as the Queen of Pentacles. It's just a little bit more, less unconditional loving. Nine of Pentacles is about self-love and deciding that I deserve love. So I won't put myself in a situation where I'm not loved or not appreciated or not supported. So I'm thinking this is a person, one person maybe learning with the resistance from other people to value themselves better. So you might have a very stubborn, boring person in your life that there's no you can't work with this person because they are not moving anywhere, and they are just whatever like solution you give to their problem, there's still this big amount of problem. It's not being, they can't digest it. So maybe what you're supposed to learn from this is to take better care of yourself too, not in these extremes that we see with this energy here, but inside of you, because we can see this with nature, for example. Nature is a resource, and it's being sometimes used to almost the brink of extinction. And when it's extinct, it won't be able to come back. It can't come back to life. But before it's extinct, it's always trying some new to be alive, come to life again. You can chop down a green tree, and it will come new small trees out of the from the ground where this big tree was growing. So life is always trying. It's trying. But here I'm feeling that the life force, the resources from this life force is being drained to the point where life needs to say, okay, I'm not going to plant my seed here anymore because frankly, you don't deserve my attention. In nature's point of view, that would be maybe making a big volcanic eruption and destroying everything at that place that was hurting nature, and then the seed can grow in like peace and quiet. So it would be like this, and we have a little bit like the fire for a volcanic eruption here, but it's actually ending very cool. So I'm thinking this is what's going on. Two entities really wants to come together. A project wants to come together. Two people love each other very, very deeply, but they are not compatible. They are not compatible at all. But what these two uncompatible energies is doing when they are clashing together is that they are being taught by one another. I'm thinking this energy is being taught about love, that you can't to use up resource, okay, a resource like someone's love, and like taking and not giving anything back without realizing that okay, it's gone. So then you want to reconcile and you're very scared, but the love is there like a beacon. So I'm thinking one person has done something like exhausted the relationship in some way, or this situation, maybe went away with all the money. But then when they went away, they felt like, well, the money isn't worth anything without you. So they want to come back here, and it feels very humiliating. So it's like a touch and go if this person will be able to voice this or not. But what this other person is learning is that they can't continue giving and giving and giving and giving to a person that doesn't give back. So they are learning to save their own resources. Like stay maybe in the shell until it comes better circumstances for nature to grow. Okay, so I hope this made some sense. But you deserve love. You are lovable. Either way, this person is so scared that they are not lovable, so they can't show love. And this other person is not scared that they are not lovable, but they think they can just come with this love and just fix the situation. And it's not always doable. Sometimes you need to choose better circumstances to give your love to people that's actually open to receive love. And I'm thinking this is the third time I'm reading the Five of Pentacles in this round. So I'm thinking many people are going through this with feeling left out in the cold, or losing their ego, or finally realizing what something was worth when it's finally gone, and things like this. 5 signifies change and often suffering or loss. Pentacles signify the material world and nature. Finding this card in a reading may therefore indicate the possibility of material hardship or a crisis, but caution is needed to make this interpretation. The earliest tarot commentaries stated that this card represents a spouse or lover. This may refer to the way in which our material world often changes when we enter into a deep relationship. We may let go of our preoccupations with money, be tempted to act extravagantly and thereby incurring loss, or our material circumstances may radically change. Divorce usually necessitates a major reorganization of our finances and can involve financial loss. It's also this when we have something that's worth having, there's also the fear of loss. So you can't lose something that you never have. So that's why one entity here doesn't even want to engage themselves in a situation where they could risk loss. So they are never admitting to love because they never want to lose this love. So it's so valuable, this love, that they can't even sniff it. They can't even look at it, because this is how dangerous it is to wake this longing inside of us for love. This other energy is ready to sacrifice whatever for love, but it's very unbalanced situation where one is sacrificing everything and the other is not sacrificing a dime. So the process of breaking down or loss is as necessary as the process of building up or gain. And this idea conveyed in alchemy in the process of solve et coagula, dissolution and coagulation. As we look back on our lives, we can often trace periods of dissolution when either emotionally or materially our lives seem to unravel, resulting in a sense of falling apart and loss. But later we will have hopefully experienced the sense of coagulation and reforming, in which we feel ourselves coming back together, often with our material life rearranging itself in a different way around us. Only then do we realize the positive value in the period of dissolution. So I'm thinking this resourceful person might have felt very like so rich that they could share everything, like with also this maybe very shy person, because it didn't cost them anything. But there came a time in this relationship when it started to cost, and the person needed to understand that they also deserve love back. And this is what's on the table right now, that maybe this person needs to move on with their life and understand how love should be, and this other person needs to live with their procrastination and loss, and thereby being able to open their heart. And actually be, go through the fear, and after that not being so darn fearful anymore. So I'm going to take a card for you, for the Sacred Rebels Oracle. Restore and replenish. So I'll read this card for you. 38. You are in need of something so much deeper than rest. You need restoration, replenishment, and revival. This will not necessarily come from lying about somewhere, taking a moment out of your day or evening activities. You are more likely to gain what you need by breaking with your routine completely and doing something different. You need some variety, some spice, some change to bring fresh energy into your body, mind, and heart. You need to restore and review yourself by changing the usual flow of energy through your being. You could stimulate this process by going to a different place, meeting different people, and taking different action to what you would usually do. You can return to your regular routine in time if it feels good for you. However, it is now time to move without pushing yourself beyond what is known, comfortable, or familiar. This oracle also comes as a message from the great loving guardian, which is life itself. You have been working so hard and have accomplished so much already. However, you often sell your accomplishment short and focus on how much more is yet to be done. Life is telling you that it is time to put down the paintbrush, the pen, the endless list, and the thinking mind, and get into your body. Take the time to experience yourself in and out of nature. Remember how to just be. In doing so, even for a relatively short amount of time, you will feel more of yourself and ready for the next phase. You might be surprised what just a day or two of this can do for you. Restoration does not have to be long and involved process, especially if it's attended to when needed. This oracle is also confirmation that you are in an important transition phase between one level of experience and the next. If you feel as though you are treading water or are in a sort of purgatory, somewhere between your old life and your new life, then this particularly applies to you. If you can quite break into the level you are reaching for, have faith. You are just taking a breather between races. Soon you will have the power and energy you need to reach for the next level and succeed. If you have been considering a new endeavor or have recently started one, then this oracle brings a message of encouragement. Yes, this is a good step forward for you. You might be worried that you are taking on too much. You are encouraged to take time out and rest and rebalance yourself. But you are supported in your need for new and different experience to refresh your spirit. You may let some of these new endeavors go once you have gained what you need from them. However, they are useful now. You are encouraged to trust yourself and to know that you are working consciously to meet your own needs, and this is healthy and good. There's a healing process for you. Imagine that you are floating in an ocean that has colors of turquoise to deep green and darkest, deepest blue. Notice what colors feels good for you. Enter and remain in that space for as long as you like, in this floating in this ocean with this color that feels good for you. The water might be warm and sparkling, shallow and heated by the sun, or cool, deep and mysterious. Whatever works for you. Allow it to be whatever feels good. And when you are ready, open your eyes and break the routine of yours. You will have completed your healing process. I think this card kind of ties it together, and the things that I know nothing about in your life is probably answered by this, because it's like there's some kind of project or maybe that have stretched over a long time, and maybe you need to get a new fresh view on it as well. Thank you for watching this far, and also I want to invite you to my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. I also want to welcome you back to the mid-month August reading that I will perform in the beginning of August, and have the most beautiful summer, and don't forget to restore and replenish. Bye bye, dear Virgos.